We've got some updates. Check out these new images that show 3i Atlas in a whole new light. What's going on with this situation? Where are these jets? Is it streaming out? What is all this? Is it breaking up after possibly going behind our sun? A little confusing because this all comes after last week images showed the object with no tail. Weird. So how did the object go from an anti-tail to a tail to a no tail to an anti-tail to whatever it is that we are now seeing? Let's get straight over to Harvard astronomer Professor Avi Loeb, expert on all things interstellar. Professor, great to see you. So is this a breakup of 3i Atlas? What does this all mean here?
We see more than 7 jets that are tightly collimated coming out of this object. And of course, there are 2 possibilities that we considered all along, that these jets are naturally produced out of ice on the surface of a rock. And the second possibility is that they might be thrusters on the technological spacecraft. And so how do we tell the difference? Well, if it's a natural object, then we know the temperature on the surface of a rock, given its distance from the sun, and that gives the characteristic speed of any volatiles that get sublimated and ejected from those pockets of ice. And so knowing the speed, we can see how far these jets go into the solar wind. We know the properties of the solar wind, and these jets appear to be, some of them in the direction of the sun, and they go 1,000,000 kilometers away from the object. So knowing the properties, the speed and the density of the solar wind, we can infer how much mass is being carried by these jets. And I did the calculation and I found of the order of 5 billion tons of material. Now we ask, okay, how much energy is needed to sublimate ice with such a large mass? And the answer is, well, if it's carbon dioxide, which is easiest to sublimate, I mean, water takes more energy, but carbon dioxide requires a surface area of an object that is 20 kilometers in diameter, much bigger than we estimated for the actual nucleus of 3i Atlas based on the Hubble image that was obtained back in July. So what does it mean? It means that in the natural case, the object might have broken into pieces so that the sum of the areas of all the pieces add up to the area that is required. So, and there should be tens of those pieces, maybe hundreds. And we don't have a good enough image yet to figure out if there are pieces. They would get separated by the tidal force of the sun as we move into the next few weeks. However, if it's a technological object, and we're talking about technological thrusters, those usually eject gas at a much higher speed. Rockets eject gas at 10 times faster speed than expected for volatiles on the surface of a comet, and the ion thrusters go up to 100 times the speed of those natural pockets of ice. And so we would expect much less mass to be carried in these jets at much higher speed in the case of a technological object. And the coming weeks will tell us the answer, because if this object is broken up, we will see the pieces. We would see slow-moving jets with a lot of mass in them. On the other hand, if it's a technological object, very fast jets with much less material in them, and the object maintains its integrity as it moves along.
Are you worried at all as this thing gets a little bit closer, or do you still think that this is most likely natural?
No, I'm just waiting for the evidence to come in, and whatever it is, that's the fun of doing science, that we should be guided by data. So science, the foundation of science is the curiosity, the humility to learn. It's a learning experience, work in progress. And it's very different than the arrogance of expertise, where based on past knowledge, you assume that you can forecast what nature would reveal. And so let's just wait a few more weeks. We'll figure it out. And let's hope that there will be no gifts from this object for the holidays on Earth. If it's a natural object, there is nothing to worry about. Don't lose any sleep for now until we figure out, that it might be technological. In that case, I would start worrying, yes.